You ever think about quitting?
It's the combat of life, hammering the snot out of you.
Well, stand by, dig in deep, and get ready to get fired up with us.
Welcome to the Team Never Quit podcast, the #1 podcast that inspires you to fight on. I'm your host, David Rutherford, here with Mr. Never Quit himself, Marcus Luttrell.
Our mission is to help you embrace the suck of life, to teach you the values of working your ass off, and to interview the most hard-charging people on planet Earth.
We know life is hard. It's time for you to suck it up, Buttercup, and let us teach you to persevere in every environment imaginable by sharing real-world lessons learned by those who never quit. That's right. It's time, Marcus, for us to help them defeat the negative insurgency in their lives.
You fire me up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Marcus, I'm telling you what, right now, hands down, the greatest thing you've ever seen in the movies, action shooting. Go.
Whoa, best?
Best?
That's some good ones, man.
You mean like most realistic,
Yeah,
most
we talking-
fantastic,
No, the baddest thing I'm talking Mel Gibson role. I'm talking Heat street fight scene. I'm talking John Wick killing 355 people in a 2-minute stint. John Wick?
Yeah, pistol.
Hands down. Which scene?
Pistol practice, all of them, man. I mean, just he killed somebody with a pencil.
So my favorite is when he comes back from Europe, right? And they put out the hit on him for I don't even know how many. Right? It went to everybody, right? And the chick who's playing the violin, the big sumo dude,
Everybody.
who he shoots him like
They
3
did a good
times.
job on that movie,
Bro, that's my favorite sequence right there. Because you know, Shawn and I have a little thing going, right? And so what we're trying to do.
Okay, so do you remember? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
But if we're talking about like with realistic, you remember 3:10 to Human? Russell Crowe went in. No. I'm sorry, it's not 3:10 to Human. It's the Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead.
Right. So he was a preacher. Used to be a gunfighter, and they pull him into the gun store, and Leo DiCaprio's in there. So it's his gun store, and Gene Hackman's his father, runs the town. And he pulls out the guns. He starts throwing them to him, and Russell starts going through all of it.
That's bad.
And Johnny Ringo.
Johnny Ringo.
And the bar scene.
Bar
scene, good one, man. And I know I'm missing some.
How about when Doc Holliday comes out, right? Yeah. And he's sick,
he's
bad, and he's sitting there, and he's got like he's offhand. Cut his arm out and he just and then he goes and he's bleeding, he's dying with the whole dude.
Hickok, that's the way, because he was a cross draw and he wore the sausage, man. And
I tell you what though, the John Wick was the first in my mind because it's so recent. But as far as the extremely realistic scenes, I think there's two that stick out in my mind. One's an edged weapon scene, but Tom Cruise in Collateral.
Gotta go with that one.
He's about where they're trying to rob him.
He's
right
that
there.
good. He's that good.
And he draws. That was excellent.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Edged weapon scene in The Hunted.
Between
Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones. I love how in a knife fight you get cut.
Everybody gets cut.
And that was the first time I think I probably saw in Hollywood a scene that was, well, you know what? You want to play with knives, you're going to get cut. And then I got another one. I'm sorry.
Keep going.
One that had a huge impact on me as a kid. It's still my favorite movie is Last Mohicans. You got to be a fan of the movie, and y'all probably don't remember it. But they're on the stockade, and they send the runner to go carry a message, to carry reinforcements.
And him and his sniper.
Him and his brother are up on the wall with those long rifles.
Yep.
They're just knocking down 1, 2, 3, and then that last shot, and they draw it out. You know, Michael Mann's the director on that. They just draw it out, and you know, the runner's going straight for this guy. It's an impossible shot, iron sights at night, and that was probably hundreds of yards. But when you're a kid, man,
it's the realest thing in the world. Just like Commando was.
The bullet arrives and it takes that 50 caliber slug to the skull and throws him backwards, just as that messenger is running up on a tomahawk.
Yeah.
That changed my life.
That was it.
The end scene.
I love it.
In Open Range with Kevin Costner.
Oh yeah.
He walks up and the gunfighter, the sheriff hired him. He's like, "You want to kill my friend?" I killed the boy, and I liked it. And there wasn't any more talking. Kasha just starts walking forward, doesn't say a damn word, pulls out his pistol, just pop right in the forehead, dude, and then it's on.
Yeah, everybody gets into it. Yeah. Dude, there's so many. So I
know we're gonna get burned on one. We're gonna get hammered because we're forgetting a good.
Oh, there's ton. We're gonna get a ton of mail on this one. But what I need to know, and from our listeners too, is Shawn and I have a bit of a competition going on. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this. It started with a ninja slide in a combat stress test. He did a ninja slide in a Presidente.
We were doing range 15. I was like, let's do one of those power slides, but then at the very end of it, I'll fall into you.
Which is what would happen.
I'm going to scrape my knee up and be like, I'm never doing that again.
The last iteration we did was a hood slide, which, again, I won.
Let's not start with that one. It's not your finest moment. I think you won the video before that.
Oh, for sure. I was faster.
Yeah.
I didn't technically.
Despite he's got a better slide.
I didn't actually do a ninja slide, though. But don't tell anybody, right?
Details,
it's semantics. It's semantics.
Bow and loop, dude.
Yeah. We did a hood slide, our second one. I think I lost that one too. But what I need now, gents, is what is the next competition we're going to have? What is the next dynamic shooting Hollywood position that we should do? What do you think?
Hollywood, you got to go dual pistol competition where you're shooting at the same time. That's pure Hollywood.
Yeah, with the slide, but the slide's over a bar.
Desperado. You got to do a Desperado.
Yeah, Desperado. There you go. Desperado's got some good gun work.
Where we shoot each other?
You don't have to shoot each other, but it make good entertainment. We'd have a hole in the show.
That's not cool at all, dude.
Where you jump on the bar and doing the backslide, shooting the target.
On the bar.
That's pretty intense.
Sliding backwards.
Two pistols. Oh, I don't care. Just two pistols being shot simultaneously at something.
A la Reservoir Dogs.
That's what he did. No, he jumped off the bar. Remember that? Yep. He jumped off the bar and was shooting up, so you could jump off the bar and land on a mat, and the target will be
up above us.
I don't know. That's pretty intense.
That's like next level. I need stunt coordinators.
Die Hard, when they come screaming in and Bruce Willis sliding that police car in, the door opens up, he steps out while it's sliding and shoots I've actually seen that on YouTube, a couple guys doing that. That's pretty intense.
That reminds me of a good one, Marcus. That reminds me of a good one. You guys should just break glass all over the floor, take your shoes off, and do range drills on broken glass.
Dude.
To see who can take it.
Are you twisted? Are you honestly twisted? I mean, you're serious. That's the message.
Everyone's listening to your opinions. Gary Busey from Lethal Weapon, a helo shot. Crabbing helo shot.
Bro, we got to rent a helicopter.
Well, you're the one that there's guidelines here? I mean.
What is this? He asked for our expertise.
All right. I don't know. Jump in the swimming, go down the slide.
All right. We're going to do the next one will be double pistols at the same time. Who gets the most kill shots? That's what we'll do. All right. He doesn't know that. All right. Welcome to the Team Never Quit podcast. I'm your host, David Rutherford. This is Mr. Never Quit himself, Marcus Luttrell, with the infamous, the incredible, the omnipotent Wizard.
You do just keep getting better with that.
I call you omnipotent. Anybody's going to love that shit. Are you kidding me? You just told me to go walk on fucking glass, and I'm calling you omnipotent. What the hell was I thinking? Holy sweet baby Jesus. All right. Welcome to the podcast, man. If you're a first-time listener, stand by because this show is going to be awesome. We're bringing on one of our own. Somebody's near and dear to me, man. You are going to love Shawn on the show today. If you want to know more, repeat offenders. If you are a repeat offender,
we need to address our delinquents.
Yeah. If you are a repeat offender, we effing love you, man. We can't take enough of you. We love you, and we want to have you back. More and more. Thank you so much. Without you guys, the show wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be where we at. We wouldn't be closing in on 6 million plus downloads. Thank you.
The Kingsman.
What?
Good gunfight scene, the Kingsman.
And out of left field.
Oh, it's in my head now, dude. It's stuck in there like that. What's his name? What's that guy's name in the movie? Oh, yeah, it's in there for days. And then it'll zip past there like, I got it. No, I lost it.
You'll be watching this every night for the next month.
Matrix, that was a good. That was
maybe we should try the Matrix, Dodge. We should shoot at each other and see if we can do it. That's your suggestion, wouldn't it, Wizard? Thanks for nothing. All right, so welcome to the TNQ Podcast.
This is going to be your biggest video, by the way.
It might be.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about what it is we do and why we do it, please visit our website at TNQPodcast.com, where you can also check out, we have these wonderful submissions from our
Predator. Predator, dude. And in that movie, they let those actors line up and discharge. That whole scene that was supposed to be a joke. It's
really?
When the Predator, it was supposed to be a joke, right?
It was?
Yeah, and they just started going to town.
And they just unloaded.
They're just going to cut the jungle down.
Yeah, they're knocking the jungle
down.
I
don't think there's been a single platoon that has ever not done that in IADS.
Yeah, IADS, yeah.
Where everybody gets online and expends every mag left in
there.
Of
course.
Oh, yeah. We did that at Fort Chaffee once. And they got that beautiful 280 range out there. Yeah. We would do it, and at the end of every night, the entire hillside would be on fire, dude.
Oh, yeah. In the woods on the side there.
Enough tracer rounds to catch the whole place.
You can chop one of those big trees down and use it for a pencil. For a pencil, there's so much lead in it. I mean,
remember the 60s?
The 60s? Oh! First time you ever hear one of them, that's why you love them.
Oh, no, you don't.
Dude, when that thing opens up.
No, not when the 260 gunners are next to you.
Oh, no.
One moves up to your face and you're a left-handed shooter and it's going ding, ding, ding. And the other one, the one puts brass in my cheek. Thank you, Dave. And Lee moves back behind this ear. So the blast is happening. So I'm going bang, bang. Yeah, no. So check out our listener write-in stories. Great, amazing story. If you've got one, please write in your story, whether it's
heat. God, dude, how did we forget about heat, man? Right?
Right.
Dude, heat, man. I forgot about that.
Great.
Write in your greatest never quit story about your mom, your brother, your cousin, and everybody you know. Please share this show with someone you care deeply for, someone you know that's struggling. Someone, just teach them how to subscribe on their iTunes podcast.
Scarface, dude, when he comes out, say hello to
my little friend.
Dude, I mean, it's a one-time shot. Scarface. God, I forgot about that one, dude. Man.
We have merchandise. We have merchandise. Go to the podcast website. Check out our Team Never Quit podcast t-shirts and other merchandise. You will love it. Wear it while you're driving to work. Wear it at car, while you're listening to it, while you got me in your head 24 hours, while you have Wizard hammering me, making me crawl through glass, and while we have Marcus constantly bringing back great movie scenes. If you want to follow us also on social media, go ahead and follow Marcus at Marcus Luttrell. I'm at Team Frog Logic, and the Wizard, man, he's on social media still. It's been months now. He hasn't quit.
I haven't been kicked off or quit.
Thank God you aren't putting any crazy political stuff out there yet. You're not going to do that, are you?
I don't know where this path will lead.
I love it. All right. Wizard, give us a 2-second bio on Shawn Ryan, Vigilance Elite, just so we can get him on here.
2 seconds?
Yeah.
He's a Navy SEAL. He's here to talk to us.
Come on. Navy SEAL, combat deployments.
Navy SEAL. He got into the teams pretty young. I mean, like 18 years old.
He was a baby.
He probably had no facial hair at this point, right?
Not even
He's
through
one of those,
SQT.
You know those guys like in Buds, like the ones. Was he the youngest in the class?
Yes,
I mean,
by
he
far.
was the youngest in the class.
Yep.
He goes through, does 2 pumps, one at Team 2, and I believe one at Team 8, right? These are both combat deployments. Leaves the teams, goes directly into working for the Central Intelligence Agency.
Da-da-da.
Doing many...
Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry, dude. I mean, one-liners, right?
Oh, classic.
The original, Make My Day. 44 Magnum.
So are you saying within every contest he and I have, should we have to have one-liners too? New one-liners?
I thought that was.
You should put in like mental agility skills in between some of this stuff.
Come on. I can't combine all that shit together. I did
be
cheat
like, hey,
on
we
the
should,
first two already. If I get any worse, everybody's gonna know. All right, I'm already cheating. Damn it!
You mind if I go back?
Please.
So Shawn,
yes,
he starts taking fun, adventurous trips with the country's most interesting expeditionary entertainment company, the Central Intelligence Agency.
Damn.
Working around the world in many different. Actually, I think it was about 14 different countries, AOs that he did some serious work in. He gets out of there. His project right now is Vigilance Elite, which is a training, primarily training company. I know he's working with some very interesting clientele, particularly someone he was talking about, which we can't mention right now, but everybody's going to find out about it soon.
Yep.
They also sell merchandise and things like that, and it was interesting. I had a conversation with him last night about he's got a unique approach to this, which seems to be really effective.
You remember that movie, Equilibrium? Like they made that karate movie out of gunplay. Remember that? With Christian Bale?
Oh, God.
Equilibrium.
Nowhere near as cool
as the Shawn Ryan. Well, what do you say, gents? Should we bring one of our own on the show? Let's do it.
Do we dare?
P-I-N-K-Y. Pinky is kinky and Marcus. What do we have?
One of our own.
Jinx. Shit! I swear to God, you
know
knew.
I'm onto that. Cincinnati are doing it.
Oh,
I heard it from the bedroom. Jinx!
My girls are.
Like, what?
My girls are doing it, but they have like 6 things that. Jinx, double hip tap, blood get out of here, butter there, coke. I'm like, what?
Double back tap. Yeah. I had to do that one too, but I beat you to it though.
That's insanity, and that's why our children today are struggling. But today,
do they still get to hit each other? Do they hit each other?
No,
or is
are you kidding me?
Violent today.
I'd go to child services if my kids started hitting each other like punch bug stuff back in the day.
Oh, mine do. Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can't have kids.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that.
Kids.
So today, bro, not only do we have one of our own, but we have one of our own, man. A true brother from another mother. A true man of the same cloth. A true brother in the fight of positivity. So, when I told you guys he was coming on, man, you're like, yes. And then I said, you know what? Wait till you hear his explosive personality on the show, that you are literally gonna have to strap into your seats and have to hold on to your hats with this guy, Marcus. I'm telling you. He might be sitting over there quiet right now, but I'm telling you, stand by.
Like a grenade when you pull a pin.
Bro, he is a grenade of positivity. I'm telling you what. So
right now he's got his face buried in his hands, wondering what the fuck he's doing on this show. To be perfectly honest, for everyone who can't see what's going on here.
Oh, brother, I love you. I told it it'd be fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome, Mr. Shawn Ryan, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, dude.
We told you he was a dynamo.
Yeah.
You love how he Mr. Rogers the last couple sentences. Welcome to our neighborhood is high intensity, and then it's just like, hey, how you doing?
I'm going to start wearing a sweater, right? He was a Navy SEAL sniper in Vietnam.
I heard that story too, yeah.
Right.
I actually pulled up some Mr. Rogers videos on YouTube back a little while ago. Not yesterday, but I don't remember now, but it's not like I remembered it. Because I always heard that SEAL sniper tattoos down to his wrist.
Yeah, no. He's been in public broadcasting since he was 16 years old.
That's a great story, though, isn't it?
Beautiful. They're coming out with a documentary on it. That's fantastic, man. I love Mr. Rogers.
So that'd be a great movie. It'd be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but then the side thing would be him after the show. He goes out and does merch stuff.
Dude, that's the movie I want to star in.
When he walks out of the house, he closes the door, he gets on a Harley, he's tatted up. Like,
there's a new show coming out, a new movie with Jim Carrey, where he's this big time child guy like Mr. Rogers, and then he loses his marbles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looks pretty insane.
Huh.
Anyways, Shawn, brother, thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much for bringing your pals with us too to capture the true essence of our dynamic interaction.
My pleasure, dude. Good to be here.
Well, let me tell you. Go ahead. What?
I haven't seen you since what, 2 days ago?
2 days.
You live right down the street.
Yeah, right down this. Literally, he lives 2 minutes from my house, right? And it's like, hey, man, what are you doing? Nothing. You want to come over? Yeah, all right.
I'm in Texas. Okay, that's different.
What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Nothing. You come over? Yeah. That was literally the conversation on the phone when we were kids, right? We had the landline. What are you doing? Nothing. We doing nothing. Want to do something? Yeah. Want to come over? No,
I'll be right over. I love it. Well, anyways, brother, thank you so much for being on a show. Now, one of the things you got to understand, right, is we got to get warmed up, bro.
Yeah.
We got to get warmed up.
We do. We got to get warmed up.
And unfortunately, there's no long strips of payment where I could beat you in a ninja slide.
That never happened.
There's no hoods.
I watched that video.
What'd you think?
He probably shouldn't bring that up because
I know.
Dude, I won. And I won the hood slide, and I won them all. And I'm going to win the next one.
Okay, Superfly Snooky.
Yeah, the fly! The fly!
That part was funny. The tragic part was his hood slide.
Dude, I thought it was technically
I thought you were a
proficient.
Navy SEAL, man. The
Uh-oh.
forward combat roll.
Did you hear that?
The hood slide.
Did you hear that?
I think it's like a geriatric hood slide.
Oh! Ouch, dude.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Of course not. Didn't sound like that at all. I didn't catch that.
You mean
I
that with
wouldn't
all
even-
due respect,
Dude,
right?
don't jump on their team. You're on my
No,
team.
my point was, let me
Much
finish.
more
I was
fun at our
like,
team,
I didn't get to the
Marcus.
line where it's like, I didn't even catch the sarcasm in that one.
Oh, thank you. I'm a little sensitive about my hood slide capability. All right, so we got to get warmed up, all right? And we're going to stretch out that gray matter in that head of yours, right? That thick head of yours. We're going to stretch out your gray matter with the Mad Minute. Now, it's not the Mad Minute we used to roll with at the agency. It's not the Mad Minute of anything like you ever learned in any kind of cool guy interrogation shit. This is the Mad Minute that will break your mind. It is going to humble you down to your knees because these are the hardest questions you have ever faced in your life.
Well, bring it on, dude.
All right, Marcus, fire away.
Favorite superhero?
Deadpool.
Oh, of course.
Ryan does such a great job bringing that dude online.
Please come on our show, Ryan.
How many times do we have to say that?
Please come on, Ryan. I mean, we ought to just
That's always our Deadpool kick when someone brings him up. Ding, ding, ding. The wizard hit the light. Deadpool kick. Hey, Dad, hey, Ryan, you're a great actor. I think you should have won an Academy Award for Green Lantern. But we're glad that you did. You're doing Deadpool, and as former SF guys, if you ever need anything.
Oh, that's awesome. Wizard.
All right, if you could take any animal and make it the size of an elephant, which one would you choose and why?
Oof.
Wait, what? That's a new one. That just hurt my brain right there thinking about that.
A Brussels Griffon.
Well, that just broke my brain. I don't know what that is.
I just think it'd be fucking hilarious to see.
What a Brussels Griffon?
Google it.
That sounds like a French pastry. What?
Yeah, you gotta Google it.
Roger that.
Bring it up, Wizard. What's that thing look like?
A furry fucking bat.
It's a bat that
A
is
dog,
size.
but it looks like a bat.
That's the size. Holy cow.
I don't know. It looks like some silly dog you'd stuff in your purse.
Yeah, but not the size of an elephant.
That's a big purse, dude.
That's a giant purse.
Once the size of an elephant, it would be a formidable adversary.
Oh, my God. What is happening? I'm going back to an Old Faithful. All right? All right, here you go. If you could go back in history, anytime, right? Anytime. We got the coolest time travel machine there is. Go back in history and get totally annihilated with somebody for like a day. Who would it be and when?
Oof.
He's going
George
back.
Washington.
Oh, nice. Nice. When in his career?
Right after Christmas.
Awesome. But, he wouldn't drink with you, I don't think. You know what I mean?
It'd be cool to be there, though.
Right after, when I came back?
That's, yeah, I mean.
That'd be cool. Not during, but
Cool.
after.
After
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, okay. Check. All right. I love it.
Yep.
Fire away.
All right, brother. If all jobs paid the same, what would you be doing?
Ooh. Great question, dude.
I'd be doing right what I'm doing right now.
See, that's what I said to you, man. I didn't even know money was a thing.
Yes.
Getting paid to be a Navy SEAL was an extra.
Yep.
$32,000 a year, bud.
Oh. 3 hots in a cot, huh, Master Chief?
Oh, dude. Deep. What they call your pay for living off base?
PH.
BAH, and I blew every dime of it, and more living in the beach every
On
time.
booze.
Oh, right. eight of us got this huge house, so rent was nothing since everyone was in a different platoon or in a different cycle. There's probably about 2 guys at the house at
any given time.
Yeah, so you had your pick of the litter from the cars. It was a problem when everyone showed up. Because then it was a race to the house. So you got the beds, the couch, then the mattress in the kitchen and stuff like that. But other than that, man, that's kind of what I tell young guys when you come out. Like, man, just put half your paycheck away where you can't touch it, then get a house with a bunch of dudes and be a warrior.
Animal House.
How many of them listened?
No, I
Not
don't think
one.
any
Put
of
the
them
money
probably
away.
not.
I was $10,000 in debt when I got out.
That's great advice, though.
It is
Really?
great
I wouldn't. I
advice.
followed it. It was good.
You did follow that advice?
Came out of the Navy, everything, I'll put it to you like this. My arrangement was when I got out, I was either going to go to med school or if I met my wife, everything was going to go on her finger and we'd start over together.
Really?
Holy shit.
That's impressive,
That
bro.
is impressive.
You've seen her ring.
Yeah, it's hard not to see it.
That's what I came out of the Navy with.
You bought that ring
Yep.
with everything you'd saved in the Navy.
Yeah.
God bless you,
Wow.
dude. That's squared away.
That's impressive.
That is. All right, Wizard,
I'm a
fire away.
romantic.
All right.
I
If you
saw a
were,
bumper sticker somewhere.
Hey, what you know what we need to do?
that's where I get all my good ideas.
Yeah, I saw a bumper sticker.
I need to start pressing you, Shawn, on, when it's going to happen here with you and your loved one over there, dude. But we'll talk
there.
about that
All
later.
right, all
We'll
right.
talk, but we'll talk about that later,
All
dude.
right.
I'm the only one sitting over here. What are we doing?
He's going to ask you to marry him.
What's my table doing?
Fire it.
All right, if you were standing in the airport at this very moment and an airline handed you a free travel voucher anywhere in the world and you had to use it immediately, where would you go and why?
Damn, you guys are on point
Immediately.
today. Holy cow.
You can't go home. You can't pack bags. You just got to go anywhere.
Australia.
Australia.
Ooh,
Why?
I think I'd go to Australia
Why?
because I haven't been there.
What is it
And,
about
Good
Australia?
place.
I don't know. I just always wanted to check it out, man.
Very good.
Kangaroos.
Like infatuated
Koalas.
with crocodiles.
Oh, dude, why?
I
You know how
It's
deadly
my favorite
those
movie
things
as
are?
a kid.
Crocodile
Other than
Dundee?
Navy SEALs.
You see the second one's coming out with Danny McBride?
I did.
He's his kid. You see how funny that looks?
Oh, man, that's going to be good.
Oh, God. Dude, that's going to be good.
Wait, so what would you do when you got there?
Go hang out with crocodiles, I guess.
I guess, man. I don't know what the hell I would do. I guess I'd
Go in the outback,
go
eh?
on a walkabout.
That's what Australians do.
Visit
You want to
the
walk
Steve
about, right?
Irwin
No,
Memorial.
Get stung in the chest. I'm not even going to go there. All right.
Let's not.
I didn't.
I kind of
didn't.
liked him.
I did too. I thought he was great.
Liked him, dude. I love
Awesome.
that, man. It was
His
great.
kids are awesome too.
You're awesome.
You're awesome, man.
No, you guys are
You guys-
awesome.
You're awesome.
You guys at
You're
that table
awesome.
love you.
You're
You guys are awesome. All right, fire away.
awesome.
All right, brother. If you could call yourself 5 years into the future, what would you ask yourself?
Oh, dude.
Am I happy?
Ah,
Yeah, mine was how we doing?
Yeah.
that's
How we
awesome.
doing?
How we doing?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is a great question.
I'd call and ask myself for winning lottery numbers, and then I'd know I was happy.
Money done
Look
not buy
at you.
happiness.
I promise I could buy a lot of happiness for $300
Look at
million.
you manipulating the future,
Haven't you seen Back to the
manipulating
Future?
I would have no
space-time
problem with that.
Have
continuum.
you not seen Back to the Future? Biff gets the damn book. Right? Yeah, come on. It's been played out. We got it already.
You can't cheat time, man. Can't cheat time. All right, fire away, dude.
I think I saw that on a bumper sticker too.
That's
All
where
right,
I
if
took it.
you could possess someone's body for 1 month, completely anonymously, who would it be and what would you do?
Is this anybody in history or present time?
And anyone. In history or present.
Possess their body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I already know.
Make their decisions. You could talk for them. You go where they go.
I know.
Probably my girlfriend.
Oh, wow. Great answer.
I'd like to fuck with her.
I was going to say I'd like to sleep with myself.
Or fuck with yourself.
I want to sleep with myself. And see how
Sleep with
good I am.
myself.
That's some deep shit.
I'm wondering what they really think about me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's really going on here. I know what you tell me, but I want to know what's going on out ahead here.
Oh, my God.
With that movie with Mel, What Women Want, when he could read.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
funny
That's
though.
hell.
The hip thrust.
That'd be hell.
The hip thrust.
Oh, sweet Jesus. All right, Marcus, last question.
It's your turn.
It is? Did I
Thanks,
skip myself? All right, here you go. What's the one thing on your bucket list you got that you know there's no doubt you're not going to pass up?
That I'm not going to pass up. I want to train a movie star.
That is, I'm not sure. That's pretty good. That's for a shooting instructor. That's a pretty good bucket list item right there, dude.
Yeah.
You want to be a movie star? Did I hear that right? You want to be...
I train one.
you want to train one?
Just want to train one. Showcase my product
Oh.
Nice.
in theaters.
Nice.
You know?
I dig it.
Maybe
That's the
it'll
greatest
happen.
part about having kids.
Right?
Yeah, man.
What?
Dump everything you are and everything you think you know about yourself and
Into them
and see
God,
what
I
happens, see
hope
what
not.
turns out.
I hope not. At least I hope I do it in a way where my daughters aren't doing keg stands on balconies on the 12th floor of an apartment building in college.
Yeah, we all pray for that one. Just
Right?
Fathers of daughters.
Right? It's a little different. You got acts, man. I can't sit
Hunter,
there and
Hunter, and Lincoln and Gunner.
Well, look at Hunter right now is an intern at the Chive, for Christ's sake.
He's not having a good time, is he?
Dude!
You know what? I know John.
Dude!
He didn't give me an intern. He gave you one?
Dude!
I didn't. Did you get an intern at the Chive?
I didn't even get...
I didn't get one.
That's a good point.
Dude,
I
I didn't
haven't had
even
him on
get
our show.
He hasn't even invited us up to hang out.
I got an intern for you in chest deep water.
Oh, all right.
Thanks for doing that, John, by the way.
Yeah. Bravo, Zulu.
I go?
Nope, we're done.
Okay.
Because that
no,
right
Marcus,
there-
you got ask him a question. You got one?
You got a good one?
All right, what's the best piece of advice you give somebody?
Oh, that is a good one to end on.
Shit can your ego.
Awesome.
That's a powerful one.
Yeah.
That's for
Or
sure.
wear somebody else's.
I like that.
Oh, interesting. What do you mean by
what I
that?
Like find somebody that's weaker than you and walk a day in their shoes, man. Live out their ego.
Dude, what's happening to this general side of the room right now? Something profound, some crazy
Smells
kind
like
of
brain activity.
brain activity is happening. Can you catch that on film?
Haven't
You
had
guys
much
getting
sleep.
that
That
on?
could be it, right? When team guys, that's how we start performing is when they pull our sleep, right?
And that's how you
Yeah.
debate.
What happened?
What? All right.
Where are we?
That is the mad. What do you got on that, Wizard? That's like 15
I've got
minutes.
11 minutes and 43 seconds.
That's what I got too. The mad 11 minute 43 seconds. Shawn, thank you very much for your participation and your profound answers.
See Randall when you head out the door. Parking validation.
He'll validate your parking. All right, brother. We love to have fun. We appreciate it, but you know the deal. And we've been talking about this since, I started doing the show, and I am very blessed to have you down the road from me, and you've been a tremendous influence on my life. And so I thought it would be a wonderful idea for you to be able to come on here and share, a piece of yourself with our listeners, because our listeners are here. They come back because they're all going through something, just like most people in the world. But yet they're looking for something from our guest, that little gem, that little pearl, that little spark that ignites the fire in the gut so they can climb in to that combat of life, start going toe-to-toe with the negative insurgency, and really begin to cultivate the never quit mindset. So Shawn, my brother, without further ado, would you please share with our listeners your greatest never quit story or stories?
My pleasure. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Like, it's a fucking honor. So it really is. You guys have top-notch dudes on here all the time. And
I'm glad you're here.
cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought a lot about this ever since, you invited me on or, told me you were thinking about it. And I think mine is like transitioning, man, getting out of the, the war zones and coming home and taking that next step. I mean, that's a no shitter. It is,
Real, isn't it?
Yeah. And you don't think about it until it's right there in front of you and it's like, holy shit, So
well, tell us what it was like. I mean, tell us your time, at the end of your time in your teams, what was that like? Were you like, oh shit, or were you like, oh, this will be easy?
No, I mean, I regretted that for a long time. I mean, I didn't have that much time in the teams and, like 6 years and got out, and I was like going to go back in and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'm going to try it. If I don't like it, I can always go back. And, I got out, lasted maybe a year, if that.
Where were you and where'd you come out of and what was going on?
I extended for a year so that I could finish my last deployment.
When'd you punch out?
06.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 06. And went to came out of SEAL Team 2, went to St. Louis, Missouri, and thought I wanted to flip houses, so I became a fucking realtor.
Did you do the 1 week course?
Craze.
Did you do the 1 week course?
I did the 1 week course.
And remember when people's cell phones were going off during the instructor and you wanted to like strangle them?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
To, 06. That's when, 07, even back up. I remember team guys were buying houses everywhere.
Oh.
Like, team guys were buying houses.
Flood.
This is right before the big crash.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, who actually kind of like, I was Dom Razzo, man. That dude built like a freaking empire,
Yeah,
in
he did.
Virginia Beach. And I was like, holy shit, I need to do that. And got out, didn't work. So like driving around in a car, dude. And I would have, I was cheap. I had no money, blowing it all on shit in the teams and driving around with 50 pages of MapQuest, getting pissed off because my client can't tell me where to go, right or left, and it'd be like, where the hell are we going? Are we going right? Or are we going left? Like, make up. And, yeah. Like,
Some old lady in her purse going,
dude,
oh my God.
I mean, shit, I was right out of Afghanistan, and,
Literally.
yeah. And,
How fast was it? I mean, you got back from deployment, and when were they giving you your plaque and you were walking out the door?
yeah, I mean, it was like that.
Really?
Yeah. I got home. Almost, I had some terminal leave. I went home and was going to re-enlist. And, like, they had all the papers ginned up. And I was like, nope, I got to at least try this. Otherwise, I'll kick myself in the ass. And, that's back when, Dam Neck was growing.
Yep.
And,
That was during the big pull, right?
Yeah.
yep.
No.
And everybody, it was either you're going over there or you're getting out. And, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get out and try it.
Same with me.
So, yeah, then I went to college. That didn't last.
How was that? What were you like in college as a freshman?
Oh, dude, it's horrible. I remember taking a speech class, and this fucking kid was, like, shooting spit wads, like 18 years old, and like I said, all this was quick. You know what I mean? Realtor didn't work. School didn't work. And this guy's, it's fucking class clown. I yanked his ass out of his desk and like drug him into the hallway because I wanted to learn, I was
Yeah.
I wasn't there to like
I'm
fuck
serious,
around.
damn it.
Well, you know how I am.
Yeah.
And that went over like a fart in church. And yeah, and then I went to a fire academy and I got my EMT, went to a fire academy, and yeah, that's when, one of our buddies, called me up and was like, hey, there's a special program you might want to try out for. And
Special.
I was like, well, what is it? Like, I can't tell you.
I whispered like that too.
I can't tell you on the phone.
I was like, don't
That's
say
why
that.
we started talking. It's like the more special, it's like the quieter we get. Like,
Yeah.
just by nature. Like, what are you talking about?
I can't tell you. Yeah,
We're collecting all of Uncle
you
Sam's
should really
misguided
try out for
children.
this thing. What is it? I can't tell you. Like,
Well, then I'm in.
And that's exactly what happened. I said, fuck it. Let's do it.
That sounds great.
That sounds good. How much does it pay? I can't tell you. Ooh,
Good. That's how much
And
I want.
where am I going? I can't tell you. I'm in.
Give me your resume.
Yeah, right. What's a resume?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, and then we know where I went from there, working for the agency, and did that for like right around 9 years. And
9 years, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I did 2 years and was ready to bail, man. I don't know how many trips? You know, it's like 25.
Yeah,
20?
it's like it's over 20. I couldn't when I sat down and like wrote them down once, like all the shit that I could remember, like little things that happened on each deployment, and it was like 20 something. It was over 20.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It was a lot of fucking time, man.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
It is awesome, but
Awesome.
that's painful stuff.
That's a lot.
That ain't team guy deployments either, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was time to.
What was the
face the
thing?
music.
What was the thing? Like, I mean, I remember when we ran into each other in 2010, and you had been doing it for a while, and I just remember that animosity you had of, it was like you were on the hamster wheel. And I remember everybody I'd always run into, I'd ask, all right, what's your exit strat? What's your plan? What are you going to do? And you're like, I have no idea. I'm going to open a bar. I'm going to sell houses. I don't know. Stop asking me what I'm going to do, right?
Yeah.
So what was it that was like, all right, this is it. I'm done.
I mean, there was a lot of things, but there was a lot of good times and a lot of not good times, and I had to do something to stand up for my team, and I did, and I knew if I did it that I wasn't ever coming back, and I never went back. Like I kind of like,
Do you want an aisle or a window?
Pretty much. It was like, all right, I'm going to do this and I'm out. Fuck it. Mic drop, So, and I did not want the option to go back because I knew I would.
Right.
And this felt like the right time to do it. And
isn't it crazy how the contracting becomes, there's this safety net mechanism of it, right? It's not like, all right, my safety net is I'm going to go sell insurance, or my safety net is I'm going to go work at Walmart. It's like, no, my safety net is I'm going to go be a contractor. And how just utterly dysfunctional the lifestyle is anyways, for relationships, for consistency, for all that stuff. But yet that's where we think a default place to live is.
yeah.
And breaking that cycle is not easy. I mean, I didn't have nearly the time you had, and ending it, because my ex had said, if you go back again, we're done. I mean, I guess ultimately I should have gone back anyways, right? But
that might have ended sooner. Hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight's 2020. So don't bring him into it. He's got personal knowledge of all that. But but still making the separation in a final way, that's got to be rough in and of itself, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is the fucking hardest thing I've ever done. It was harder than and it still is a grind, like it was harder than buds. It was harder than the deployments. It was, because, like even when you leave the teams, like you got that brotherhood and, I mean, shit, your teammates better than your own fucking family.
I think it's coming off the streets. If you go into jail and you're like rehabilitated, I'm going out, I'm starting to change, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Start doing it. What's our fallback? Our physical abilities, what we're capable of. It's almost like we're crime. I say crime-wise, the legal version of it.
Yeah.
It's just as addicting as the other side, I would imagine.
Oh, I think you're spot on there.
You know what I mean? It makes sense even with the guys who come out of prison and go and they try and do good and they do a crime, like just one crime, like just one op. I'll just go one more time. You get your ass killed or thrown back in jail.
It really is like that. It's like one more deployment. One more, I hear that all the time.
It's a deeper, and it's not. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, the money's good for sure, but it's the addiction of the camaraderie. I believe. Yeah. You have to have it.
I think it's everything, man. Like, I remember like thinking like, just one more platoon. Go to Dam Neck, do one more reenlistment. One, at the agency, one more. Oh shit, this new place is coming around, and I might be able to get some. And when I thought about it, when I was making those decisions, punching out, I was like, fuck, like it's never going to be enough. You could, do 100 million raids, and you know what, dude? Like you're going to want to do 100 million in one. And then
you talk, I know, we sit down a lot and talk about this. We have over the last few years. And one of the things you always talk about is the train going on.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about knowing that? And did you feel that in that time and space?
Yeah. I mean, both when I left the teams, and, the agency, like I got, I remember getting out of the teams and buying my little house in St. Louis, and, you still try to keep in touch with those guys. And, it's like, I remember talking to them and they're like, yeah, dude, last night we just got in a fucking gunfight. And like, I was like halfway through my last mag, with 0 frags left. And I'm like, man, like like it fucking eats you up. And, same,
the worst part is as time goes on, then the conversations are shorter. What are we doing?
And then there's nothing.
I know, you're exactly right.
And, you got to realize, like, that's what I say, like, that fucking train's going to roll with or without you. You know what I mean? It's designed to do that.
Thank God.
It's very effective.
That's by design.
It is by design.
Like, those guys don't, come back from the op and, like you were saying last night, like,
hey, where's Rut? Hey, let's call Rut and tell him how awesome it was, right?
Yeah. It's
basically
it's the come down from the rush. You know what I mean? Yep. And you weren't there for it. And, you like the quicker you come to terms with that train is leaving without your ass, those boys have got a job to do and they don't fucking need you anymore.
Listen, one thing as Navy SEALs we don't get good at.
Yeah.
No.
Walking away.
No. How can you?
No, you can't. That's not even in the program. Like we never trained for defeat. There's insertion, extract, and not the defeat.
Well,
just like we don't train to.
And we talk about this all the time, right? They do such an exceptional job at programming us for being on the line. Why would they ever want to program you for coming off the line? It's not their job. It's not their responsibility. And it would be a detriment to the capability of the mission. Unfortunately, you do that much, you change a human being that much. And I say this all the time. If you teach somebody to walk 1,000 miles into the forest and you don't teach them how to walk 1,000 miles out, you've got one wandering, lost son of a bitch in the middle of the forest.
Yes, you do.
So tell us about that process. When you were done, you knew you were done. That was it. What happened?
I mean, dude, like I had no plan. I was like, well, shit. Like here I am, sitting like with nothing to do, So, I was already, pretty much an alcoholic. I couldn't fucking sleep. I'd ruined all my family relationships. And so I was pretty much just a boozer, dude, and that doesn't even mean going out partying anymore. I was kind of done with that. And so it was pretty depressing. I'd sit in my house and drink and do like bullshit house projects. And then, a real good friend of mine that we both know got out and, he was in bad shape. And that became like my fucking purpose. I had no purpose. And
that was your new mission.
That was my new mission. And
no, I remember sitting there that day when he got close and we were all together at your table, man, and I saw it and heard it in your voice when you called me. You're like, hey, man, come on over. And I remember being there, and it was like there was some life back in you.
Yeah. And, but, you know, to be honest with you, like, all that did was just, I wasn't paying attention to myself and what I needed. And it was all, you know, I dumped all my energy into, you know, my buddy. I mean, that's what we're fucking trying to do, right? You know, take care of each other. And so, you know, then when he left, you know, he was living with me for a while. Then I needed to get some fucking help, man. And, like, I had nobody, you know, and so I did. I finally went and got some help. And I remember, like, you know, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm even doing in here. And, you know, I started talking, and, you know, I couldn't sleep, but, you know, I remember my dad telling me, like, you need to meditate, go to a quiet room and, like, and, you know, get some peace and quiet. I'm like, when I go to a fucking quiet room, all I hear is
right?
You know, fucking tinnitus,
Yeah.
right? Uh-huh. And so I didn't even know what the hell. I thought everybody had that shit. That's why my dad would say that, and I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
No
like
such
quiet,
thing as
like,
a quiet
kills me.
room.
I hate it." You know,
Sounds like in the middle of the night when the TV goes to that, when the channel stops broadcasting. It sounds like,
you know what I mean?
we gotta turn the TV off, and it's off.
It's like the
Totally.
worst,
The hell's
dude.
going
Like, you want to torture me, dude? Put me in a quiet room with no sound. You know,
Forget waterboarding,
Holy-
just peace and quiet.
I
right?
hate it. You know what I mean? Like, and so, anyways, yeah, I couldn't sleep. I'm drinking, you know, like 2 bottles a day of vodka. I got my nightstand was full of mini bottles. My freezer's full of flasks, and I bought a wine fridge, and it was completely stocked with vodka. And I would just steady drink all day long, and then, you know, night would come by, you know, time to go to bed. Nobody ever wants to go to bed because, you know, with us, like, I tell people, you know, like, going to, like, oh, well, you know, I can't sleep. And for me, it's not like fucking nightmares and all that kind of shit. It's the wheels are spinning, man.
Yep.
You know, and
Can't
there's
stop
nothing
it.
to do. And so I tell people, it's like, when you break up, it's kind of like, it's not the same, but, you know, like when you break up with the, you know, with the chick that you love or something, and
That pain.
you go to bed and there's nothing else to think about. There's nothing else to do. And it's like that for us.
The way I try to explain it is, like, I'll watch a movie that I've seen 500 times, but it's a good movie. It's coming on at 2 a.m. when I'm supposed to be going to bed. I'm like, oh, I got to watch this.
Yeah.
Dude,
Do you have a movie that puts you to sleep?
Oh, man, yeah. We were talking about this yesterday. Melly won't even let me watch Big Lebowski anymore because of the telephone scene. And then I have my nighttime movies, too.
Yeah.
John Wick, you know, it's pretty weird.
What's crazy is
American Psycho.
that puts you to sleep.
Yeah, I go to sleep
Right?
to American Psycho. And
Because you watch them so many times on
the
deployment.
Batman, because they're dark
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Snatch, stuff like, you know, yeah. So when I got married, when I first started going to bed, I'd put that on. And Melly's like, no more war movies, no more killing, no more Jason Bourne. Now it's Nemo and, you know, stuff like that.
Dude, mine's Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Is it
Like,
really?
no bullshit.
That's Morgan's is Harry Potter, too. And Pirates
No
of the
shit.
Only the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Only the first
Yeah.
one.
And it puts you out.
Dude, I watch it every night.
And the Matrix, the first
Every
Matrix.
night.
Holy shit, that's interesting.
I don't know if, like, you know, I don't know what it is, if it's the sounds or, like, the way the TV flashes, because it's kind of a dark movie, you know?
That's what it is.
And
The
it's just like-
patterning, the neural patterning that it triggers, elicits the melatonin dump in you and then triggers sleep and relaxes you. And now that you have it conditioned, it's the way you do it. I mean, you know, everybody talks about recovery and how critical sleep is. What they don't understand is how difficult sleep is because of the impact that our brains have taken neurologically, right? The cortisol, the hyper alertness, the traumatic brain injuries, the impacts, the concussions, you name it, that's disrupted our patterning. So it's like we have to have exaggerated patterning. That's why all these new electromagnetic visual things, these visual stimulations, hell, I listen to this 32 binaural beat pattern things in my ears. I listen to Tibetan monk chimes. You know, I have a specific sleep pattern. It's so, you know, it's essential if you even imagine to be able to get the rest you need to live a normal life.
Yeah, I mean, it works. The shit works, man. And so anyways, that's how it kind of started, was helping somebody, went to the doc. I told the doc, she's like, well, how do you sleep? I'm like, I take a lot of pills and I drink a shit ton of vodka. And she's like how much? And I told her like what I was taking, which was, a big concoction of prescription meds. And she's
Could
like,
kill a
holy
small
shit.
army.
Like, she's like, are you trying to kill yourself? And I just looked at her like, the fuck are you talking? No, I just can't fucking sleep. Like, what's the big deal? And
this is normal.
Yeah. So, we
This,
tried.
let me pause for a second. Did this accelerate once you left?
Nah,
or
man, it was
this has
building.
been going on for a long period
Yeah,
of
it had
time.
been
This is
going
not
on
a
for a long
product of
time.
you transitioning out, leaving after that situation and all that.
This had been going on for a long time, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it had been going on for a long time.
I think it's prevalent in way more situations than a lot of guys, are comfortable openly admitting. And thank God now with our show, some other shows out there, I know, a lot of guys that have shows are really trying to shed light on this cultural reality for us.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is it's no longer demonstratized by ourselves, right? We're no longer it's not a victim mentality per se. It's, hey, we were in a bad way and this is what we were doing. And now we're figuring out how to get help out of it. For me, that's the greatest thing I'm seeing. The challenge is there are people that still aren't going and calling up a psychologist. Or if they go see someone one time, they don't get that strong rapport or connection. That's it. They're done. They stay in the dark room. They stay wherever. But hopefully, with stories like yours and ours, people are becoming more open to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think it was a big deal. I wasn't sleeping because I was trained not to sleep. We're still young, and I can still operate during the day with a couple hours of sleep. So, and I think the problem is after a long time doing that,
killing yourself,
catching up with you,
killing your brain,
literally.
So when did all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got to change?
Well,
now, wait,
I mean,
before you go into that, why were you drinking so much? The elephant in the room here is why were you drinking so much? How did you get yourself into this position? I think any listener is going to be thinking that. Why are you there?
It gets bred into you, man. Like, you're out there operating, you come home, you jump on the bottle, and it, becomes part of the culture. And it spiraled out of control, way out of control.
That's fair enough.
And
so when did it working with your doc? When did it because I know for me, when I started working with psychologists last year and a half ago, right, in the midst of my divorce, man, I was able to ask questions that I'd never asked before and get answers that was enabled me to reevaluate why I was doing the things I was doing. Is that what happened for you?
It's definitely like a slow but steady progression, and, I just started cutting, we started working, like one step at a time, like it was, well, let's cut all your concoctions out of, and then, we got that out, and then it was toned down, like I cut pretty much hard alcohol out and switched to wine, which you already know.
Yeah.
And
Pinot Noir, baby.
Yep, that's it. And and once I did that, once I was able to slow that down, like your productivity just goes through the roof. And at the same time I was dealing with that shit. I mean, we're talking, years.
Yep.
And but I found a new purpose too. Like it wasn't just, I'd done everything I could for my buddy and then you already know, like all the guys, that
well,
helped.
This is something that I was really looking forward to, and I was hoping that you would pivot, because we do often talk a lot about finding the mission, right? Every guy that we've had on, from Matt Best to Vincent Vargas to you name it, any one of the people that have, dealt with this stuff, it was finding the new mission. Yeah. And what was awesome for you is why don't you describe to everybody how you hooked up with Peggy and started helping soft vets get their benefits?
Yeah, well, so I kind of had two purposes. I created them for myself. And one was definitely, helping the soft guys. And so, I met Peggy, and, I'd been out in the Navy for over 10 years. And I met her trying to help my friend. I'd written senators, I'd written governors, about the VA, another response. And then, like, out of the blue, here comes Peggy Matthews from Boston, Massachusetts. And
we love you, Peggy. Thank you.
Yeah. And
what's the name of her organization?
Veterans Advocacy Services.
Okay.
And so basically, I was just able to link a lot of, power players together, important people that have, were helping me, and created like the most powerful damn veterans VA benefit nonprofit in the country. And
how many total guys before you started, having to be pulled away because of your new business and all that? Do you know what those numbers are? I mean, I remember you lost count after like 60 some or something like that.
It was everyone I knew, man. Like everyone. It was like, hey, you want to help with your VA stuff? And then it was boom, 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 boom. And now, dude, like, if you like, the people that don't have like what they deserve is like astounding.
Yeah.
9 Medal of Honor recipients.
9
had nothing.
Had no VA benefits.
Yeah, I remember seeing a guy at the SEAL Museum. No legs. Didn't have his benefits.
Are you kidding me?
No,
why
no
is
bullshit.
That?
Because
why is this happening?
I mean, it's the VA, man. That's what it is. Like, they literally do not give a shit. Like, have you ever stepped in one? Like the doctor, I remember the doctor, evaluating me. They didn't even know what a Navy SEAL was.
Same for me.
They're like, well, why didn't you go to medical? And it's like, because I was on a fucking operation. Well, what operation? Or like, what do you mean? What's an operation? Like, are we fucking done here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me right now? You do realize we're at war, right? And so anyways,
But that's the beauty of Peggy and what she represented. She knew how to navigate that system to where she could help us. I mean, she was, honestly, bro, I've never looked at you in your face and said thank you, but thank you so much for connecting me, because she was able to just help walk me through, and is still walking me through in a way where it was never really too frustrating. I mean, obviously going in and getting evaluated by people who never knew what a Navy SEAL was and all that is one thing, but I always knew that Peggy was there to help. And so one guy became 10 guys, became 20. When did you know that this was really a powerful thing for you to stay away from the demons and the darkness?
I mean, it came to a point where I had helped so many guys, get what they deserve, that I started, like, as much as I hate to say it, I started getting resentful. And, guys I hadn't talked to in 15 years, are like, what's up, man? And I know, and they deserve it, like, but you start getting that feeling of being used. And I fucking hate that feeling. Yeah. It's the worst feeling in the world. And, we had been talking, and then, I jumped back on the bottle, and, I woke up, dude, in my bed, and my whole fucking house smelled like gasoline. And I was like, what the hell is that shit? I was hungover, and I go downstairs, and, there's my gun, like loaded, ready to roll on the couch, and my clothes are down there. And I'm like, where the hell is this gas coming from? And I go try to open the garage door, and the fucking, like, the handle was like hot to the touch. And I remember, I was hammered, dude. And I remember, like, holy shit, like, something's going on in here. And I remember thinking, like, if I open the door, I'm going to be, like, blown to smithereens. And I didn't give a shit. So I just opened the fucking door, and there's my car running in the garage. And I'm like, all right. So I went in, and, I'm like, holy shit, like, I got to, my fucking gas can melted, dude. Like, no bullshit. Like, the gas can, like, melted off. And then, like, the little bit of gas that was left was dripping onto the fucking exhaust. So how that didn't go up, but whatever. So I opened the door, aired it out. And when I looked in my car, my seat was like reclined back. So I'd obviously, I was ready, dude. And, and then, I fucking texted you.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I texted you, and I was like, holy shit, dude, like, this is where I'm at right now. This is what happened. And you're, then we talked, and that was like my real turning point. I was like, fuck, dude, like, what the fuck was that shit? And never looked back. And then from that point forward is when my business and everything, like, really started taking off. Like, I was like, I'm never doing that again. I made a promise to somebody I would not drink vodka ever again. And I've held it. And so Vigilance Elite was born. And
out of the depths, right?
Yeah.
Out of the ashes.
Yeah. So,
well, I'll tell you, man, when you get those calls, and anybody, that's listening, and you've gotten those calls, or you've been there yourself, because I've been there many times actually with you in that same space. And when you reach out, because that's the hardest thing, right? The hardest thing there is to do is actually reach out and say, hey, I need help, especially for us.
yeah.
But one of the things we're seeing, over and over and over and over again is our guys just not reaching out. And everybody's just like, hey, dude, hey, man, if you're in a bad way, I'm here, man, and that doesn't always work. And so it really is a testament to your strength that you did. And I think once you did, it opens the doors to be able to get perspective and gain a new outlook that ultimately can help you start charting a new path, and a path that serves you to a certain extent. Because I remember we talked a lot about, hey, man, you got to get yourself good now.
Yeah. Yep. And you were right, but I mean, shit, dude, like, at first I didn't even think there was a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't. And then, all the lead up to that, and then that was like the point where I was like, fuck, dude, like, I gotta get my shit together.
That's another great thing about our generation and our war, man. The last generation, their war was so bad, and they got treated so bad coming back. Well, the way we were raised, and how much, because we were raised together and we love each other so much. So when our wars kicked off, we were young, right? And we've been fighting forever. As guys started to rotate out, they were rotating into that same blackness that the Vietnam guys. But check it out. As that progressed, we got sick and tired of that. And since how much we care for each other, we've collectively started to go. It's like going through your own buds and your own hell week by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. But everybody's going through it. But for whatever reason, we don't get a swim buddy or a boat crew back up. But now what's happening through all of this, right? I'd like to have to go back through our own hell week.
Yeah.
All of us have made it through it, and now we're set. We're out. We've established ourselves, and we're building that community back up. And later, when the guys are poking out, it won't be that big of a deal, I don't think.
I hope not, and I think you're spot on, man. What was so as you? All right, you created Vigilance. I remember you saying, "Hey, man, I'm going to do this." And I remember going through your logo design with you, and I remember going through all that and just seeing the energy come back in you, and the focus and the drive and the determination. And what were there any points where you're like, all right, that's it, I'm not gonna quit, I'm good?
Yeah, like, I built it from nothing. You know what I mean? I didn't know anybody in Boca Raton, Florida, other than you.
Thank
God.
God. Shame.
But, I didn't know anybody, and I built it. And, so, and, what motivated, it was a real purpose, what the whole, thing that started it. I didn't want to get out and teach classes, but I saw, we had Paris, we had Fort Lauderdale Airport, we had, Brussels, we had London, it's like, active shooter. And, there's a lot of cell phone footage of that shit. And you watch it, and I've, realized, holy shit, the American people, do not have any clue how to act or what to do when that shit happens. And I was like, somebody's got to, start putting some shit out. This is ridiculous. They don't even know what fucking cover and concealment is. They don't know what dead space is. They don't know what to look for.
Life-saving concepts.
So, Vigilance Elite, that's why I started it. But how do you sell that? It's, you can't package like a mindset and sell it. I mean, at least I don't know how to do it. You're great at it, but I'm not. So I was like, well, what the hell? What does everyone want to see? Navy SEALs and shooting guns and shit, right? So I started teaching classes, and I got real good at it. I'm a good teacher. And so the turning point, to get to your question,
you know what that means? That means you know your craft.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, it's awesome, when you take a 55-year-old mother who's never held a gun and she's shaking, and you have that ease and the patience to help her and not scream at her like we were taught, and and the next thing you know, she's doing 25-yard shots, and hitting 75% of the time. Most people can't hit a fucking target at 10 yards,
Right.
And you see that progression. It's like, holy shit, I'm creating some fucking badasses,
That's cool.
No shit.
Yeah.
And, so anyways, but yeah, it was tough to get, to that point and keep going. And, from helping all these guys and feeling that resentment, I'm glad I felt that, and I'm glad I went through that, because it forced me to get out of the fucking community for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And once I did, and I started actually, I shit canned my ego. I started hanging around with everybody who's the best at what they do. So, if I have a client that's a badass businessman, which I do, a bunch of them, and 2 of them in particular, really have helped me, and I remember one of them said, I was asking for business advice. I'm a sponge, man. If you're going to put out information, I'm going to fucking listen, because it's going to make me better, and I remember him saying, just don't quit. And I'm sitting there
heard that somewhere.
This fucking dude tells me not
before.
to quit. Holy
I think there's
shit.
a team out there.
Yeah, right? But I mean, how many times have you
Thank
heard
you,
that?
Marcus.
No
Right.
shit, don't quit, And
Right.
I'm like, holy shit, I'm the fucking king of not quitting, and so I didn't, I was just well, shit, that's easy. I've been doing that my whole life. And so I just, there was a lot of times where I had more instructors than students, I was paying to teach courses, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And then, now it is what it is today, which I put a course up and it's gone in 24 hours.
That's awesome, bro.
And, now I'm shooting with freaking Taryn Butler, in Los Angeles, and Corinne Mosier, and, I'm here with you guys.
The best shooters in the world.
I mean, it's, the people you meet, if, when you have that drive, it's awesome. When you can, the coolest thing, man, is I can only appreciate people that are the best at what they do. And when you have that mutual respect, whether, it's a freaking billionaire or whatever, I don't know, whatever, when they're the best at what they do and you're the best at what you do, and there's that mutual respect, there's nothing better than that. There's no shock like, oh fuck, dude, you're a SEAL. Oh shit, you're a billionaire. It's just that mutual, like, can we just cut all this bullshit and talk
like human beings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you become the most proficient in your own skill set, and when you're standing across somebody, that's the equality, right?
Yeah, and
equality, great word.
It's that you're at the apex, and they're at the apex, and I think there's an unsaid mutual respect and appreciation, because you both have that drive.
Yeah, it comes with you understand what it takes to actually become good at what you're trying to do. So it has to be that way in something else.
Now, one of the things, though, as I've watched, and what really I think has begun to separate you amongst a lot of other people is my favorite, because obviously I don't take myself that seriously at all. Especially the Wizard will tell everybody.
Maybe you should take a look at that.
Such an asshole, but it's true, and so I love that aspect. I love to be able to look at life and say, "Hey, stop being so serious." I spent so many years being so serious that it contorted my perception, right, of myself, of reality, my world. So I'm done. I'm not doing that anymore. I want to enjoy every day I have above dirt, because it's a blessing. So what was crazy is and what I love most is your YouTube videos, because you put out these videos that, and I'm very fortunate that you've allowed me to be a part of this and help you and have fun with you, but you have fun in these things. You don't take yourself too seriously. You poke fun at yourself, and you just released one with Corinne where you did your first 3-gun competition, and she shows you this piece of gear, where she wheels out the most essential piece of gear for a 3-gun person, and that's a baby carriage. So you can take all your shit from course to course. You put all your guns, your hand. It's hilarious,
it's
dude.
Straight up fucking baby carriage,
It's straight up, and it comes out.
Really?
And then you show yourself, like, in it, like, moving on a range going, yeah, yeah, and shooting, and it's this humor. Why have you chosen to use humor in the way you are with the promotion of what you're trying to do for people and your training and everything else?
That's a great question, and actually, it came from you. I don't know if you know that or not, but
That's the only reason he asked you that question.
yeah, probably right.
Okay, that's great. Next question.
But no, remember we were at your office and we were mapping out everything.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? Because at that time it was the mindset thing, and then which I do, and going into people's houses and whatever.
Yeah.
But I was looking at everybody that was doing this shit, and I was gonna be just like them, a fucking hard ass. At that time, I did have a 6-pack, but not of beer. And I remember you said, you remember the first time you stepped foot in, Naval Special Warfare Training Center, BUDS. And I was like, yeah. And you're like, do you remember how scared shitless you were of the instructors? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, and you had the balls to go, like, face that, and you were still scared shitless. You're like, you're training people who didn't do that, and they're scared shitless of you, or any SEAL. And I was like, holy shit, man, this crazy motherfucker actually has a point. And I was like, he's right. I was like, holy shit, dude. I remember being 18 years old, scared shitless. And so I really took that to heart, and I wanted to be approachable, So that's what I started joking around, and then it turned into what it is, like shit canning that ego, like, really helped too. I mean, it's okay if somebody's military career is more impressive than yours is.
Right.
Like, I can look at Marcus right here and be like, fuck, dude, like, not even close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not even close.
I
And
do
that's
it every
fine,
time.
dude. Like, like, I'm comfortable with what I did, and there's plenty of people who've done way more shit than me, and
Trust me, that applies to me too, cowboy.
yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, and you know what, dude? Next year, there's going to be another handful of guys that have done shit way cooler than the guys that are in right now.
Exactly.
You know why that is? Because that's what brought us in.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Well, there's also another concept that I've experienced. It applies almost always across the board, that the more hardcore, badass, whatever your resume is, there's like an inverse relationship between that and just more how laid back or less cocky, less standoffish, less of an asshole you are to other people. Usually the guys who are the most serious operators, they don't have to worry about putting on this big facade in front.
Yeah.
You know, and that took me a long time to. I mean, you have to experience that. You know, you walk the line, you see this through the years, and it's just something you realize it's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, once you go through all that and you gain all that, what we learn when you're young and you first get it, you want to play with it. You know, to show it off, right?
Yeah.
It is crazy. We
you
work
don't
so
know how
hard
to
to become
manage
Navy
it.
SEALs to get that trident, but we don't ever wear them. Like at the command, you're like, hey, I think I'm gonna go down to PSD and take my bird for a walk.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
go out again, right? Like, ta-da!
So you've become. This is working well for you. You've been successful. You found your purpose, but apparently, as we've heard, it has not been easy. It's been a rough road getting there.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear, what would you have done differently, looking back now?
Oh, great
Because
question.
I know there are a lot of people listening to this right now. They're identifying directly with your situation as you were describing it prior to discovering this purpose. So if you were yourself back then, what would you have done to skip a lot of the hardship and difficulty you put yourself through?
Great question.
You know, I'd love to tell you, like, something that would have avoided all of it, you know what I mean? But for me, like, I think I personally, like, I had to go through that shit to drive it home, you know? And I don't know if I would change anything, man.
Pain.
Like I had to go through it to get to where I am. And, you know, I guess if anything, I would have just done it sooner, you know? There's just, you know, like, I would have got, you know, went and talked to somebody a little bit sooner. I would have put the bottle down sooner, you know? And I wish I would have realized, you know, it's bred into us, like, you got to take care of your buddies, you know? And I'd, like, take that shit to the T, you know?
Yeah, you
I'm,
do.
like, always there when somebody needs me. And and it sounds selfish, and I still feel selfish today, but you have got to, like, take fucking time and work on you, you know? And I wish I would have done that a little bit sooner, rather than taking care and helping and immersing myself in everybody else's problems and issues. You know, I should have taken time for myself, and you know what I mean? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I think it's coming through. I think
Totally.
that's coming through,
Like,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because if you don't, then
What do you got?
yeah, you
Can't help
getting
anybody.
worse.
If you can't allow yourself to be your best, how can you expect to be your best at helping someone else?
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people try to not focus on themselves by focusing on other people, and
They
then
distract
that'll only take it
themselves.
to a point, right?
Yep.
So, because what happens when you heal them and they leave? Then you're nothing.
You still got to look in the mirror.
Brad, you're good.
yeah. So
Yep.
that I
Good
guess
point.
I would have done it a little sooner. Like, all my little steps that I went through, I would have done them sooner, and I would have, you know, worked on myself more, you know, in the beginning of this whole transition journey
Nightmare.
bullshit.
Enlightenment.
Do you think it was that you didn't want to accept that you needed to work on yourself, or you did not recognize, or you just completely didn't realize that you needed to focus on yourself?
You know, man, I don't know how to answer that. I think there is a lot of shit that goes on subconsciously with everyone, and it was probably a little of both. You know, I was scared to open the door and look at myself. You know, so I took on everybody else's problems. You know, and
The way to deflect our own issues onto something else that gives us purpose. And that's part of the ingrained culture of the brotherhood, right? We're taught to sacrifice all that we are for the success of another. And, you know, in the context of being on the front line, that works in a really profound way. But when the front line is your mind and your heart and your emotions, and those battle lines are blurred, man, it becomes challenging. And when you're the one who needs the help, it's tough to do that. I mean, I've yet to meet an operator that is fresh out of the teams or in the teams that is great at asking for help. I just haven't met the individual. And it's only the people that have come through these gates of fire of personal discovery that have, you know, felt that pain and learned to, has done the introspective work to understand them, that now at their age, at more wisdom, like Marcus talks about, you get past that 40 mark, you gain wisdom, you gain perspective, then you can say, hey, I need help. And that's the greatest thing that we can do as human beings, is to live with people that we have strong enough bonds, strong enough relationships that I can call on the phone, just like I did with Shawn in my darkest hour with my divorce, and say, I need your help. Because I knew he trusted me that much when he asked me, and I was able to do the same for him. But those bonds, that rapport, those bonds of trust, man, that takes a lot of courage to develop those with human beings. And as operators, when we're on the out and we're feeling isolated, we struggle with cultivating that. So I think in every human being needs to be able to develop those, needs to be able to really push themselves and open themselves up for some personal assistance. And that's why we do this show, right? I mean, this is what the whole show is based upon, to let someone like Shawn come on and tell his story, and then to let people hear, hey, Navy SEALs aren't only these superheroes, right? These real superheroes. They're men that struggle. And when
we take the cape off.
Take the cape off. Thank you. When we have other women that come on that share their challenges, like Lara Logan, what it was like to be raped, right? Like Brogan Wall and the struggle she faces medically. We all struggle. We all experience pain, right? And the greatest aspect, and why Marcus started Team Never Quit in the first place, was out of his pain, the discovery that we need each other. And that's what this show, I hope and I believe is happening, is sparking that need. And we're seeing that with our listener write-in stories and the pages and pages and pages of those we have. I think that's the beautiful aspect of it, that you're not weak because you feel pain, but you will weaken even more should you not share that pain. And the one thing that I know, hands down, is that we are all united in our collective pain.
That's how I know I'm strong, because I can take pain, not the other way around.
Yeah.
You're taking pain, you're not weak.
Yeah, makes sense, man.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much for sharing that, brother. I mean, that's powerful stuff. I'm really happy that you came. You wanted to come on and share. I think it's going to have a huge impact on a lot of people. Can you tell our listeners what's going on right now? What's up with the future for you? Where can people follow you? How can they get a dose of you, on a regular basis?
Well, what's coming up? A lot of shit's coming up. I mean, me and you got a TCCC course coming up that's going to be badass. That's going to be a whole production done about it.
You talk me into that.
I can't believe I talked you into that. Now, shit ton of more videos, on YouTube. Everything's at Vigilance Elite, YouTube, website,
How
Instagram.
can people follow you on social media?
Shawn Ryan 762 on Instagram, Vigilance Elite on Instagram. That's the main one, and YouTube, Vigilance Elite. And, what's coming in the future, there's a lot of big shit coming in the future that I can't actually say anything about until...
You're training with a secret individual for a secret movie that we're not so secretly excited to see.
Yeah.
When it comes out at a secret date in the future.
It's a lot of secrets.
Can we say that?
Well, he did work for the agency.
I mean...
Well, Shawn, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was an honor. It really was. It was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Good talk, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brother, what I love about transition stories, and especially guys that have the courage to come out and talk, is that they're still sitting here. They made it through, right? They endeavored to persevere. They were in the hole, they were in the darkness, in the abyss, but yet they came out of it.
I was like, sometimes you drop down in that cocoon, right? Just stay in it. Some of it's longer than others before you figure out we're on the wrong side. When you break out hard like that. I mean, especially with guys like us because of how high tempoed we are, and then we shut down to that zero drive, and it's just kind of like get stagnant for a bit. Out of the gates twice as hard.
Right? When you can figure out how to start the engine again.
They say, what's your purpose? And if you don't have an idea, just think up one. Nothing you can't do.
That's a great point.
You just finish something up that you wanted to do like we did in the military. Remember how much passion we had for that? Pick something else. And then get into it. Start all the way over and be excited about doing that. Like, I don't have any responsibilities. You know what I mean?
You're clean slate.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be a relief when you don't have any responsibilities. For us, it's depressing.
Right.
That's why you get up and make your bed in the morning, you shave, you work out, you keep those routines till you find something to fill the big breach that our overall
the purpose.
Right out.
It was funny when I was doing the research on developing my speech live with purpose. It's like, all right, where do you start, right? Where do you begin? And so I started, obviously, with Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And then I started, I read some other big-time writers and philosophers, and you read some biographies about people that had, and there's never one concise way to start finding your purpose. Right? It's all usually about individuals being inspired to go after something that's bigger than themselves. And so what I always say to people is, hey, if you're not sure what your purpose is, just go serve someone else, right? Just start there. Go work at a soup kitchen. Go do missionary work. Go help somebody start a business. I love the whole sense that once that purpose has been discovered, you're catapulted, right? You're shot out of a cannon towards this new journey of discovery, right? Just like you were before. And you're preconditioned to experience deeper levels of pain.
I just wanted to say that this really has become like a predominant topic on this show. It's been coming up more and more frequently. I think if we had to pick one singular never quit topic, this is it. I mean, you look back at people like Brennan Schaub, if I just go through, you got Brennan Schaub, Jose Sanchez, Rocco Vargas, Evan Hafer, Dan Crenshaw, Mike Ritland. It just goes, there's big stories of transition in here. And like you guys just said, it doesn't come in the same form. And we just heard a slightly different way that it came to Shawn. And it made me think one of the ways that I don't think we have heard is just sitting there in a dark room thinking about what should be my purpose.
Who am I? Why
Which
am I
is sort
here?
of an intuitive, I think, it's kind of intuitive way to find it. You say, well, what do you want to do? Sit there and think about it. But I don't recall anybody saying that's how they discovered it.
No.
So I think there's a lesson in that.
How long did it take him to discover the first
There's
path?
a reason. That's a lesson to be learned in and of itself. I think you need to take action and go out and discover it outside yourself.
The
Let
journey.
it come to you.
The journey of purpose. What were you saying, Marcus?
Like, well, how long did it take you to figure out your first purpose? Didn't happen when you were born. Didn't happen in junior high. It took a while. It's not, more than likely, it's not going to present itself right away. That's why you kind of just get out and start moving around and doing the things that interest you or that you keep you occupied or that are kind of similar with the military. And then as you go along and you progress, you realize you do have this more skills than almost anybody else. And then that new path will present itself.
And it goes back to what Chris Cassidy was talking about paying attention to the doors that open.
That's
right?
a good point.
Right? And those avenues of those new pathways, if there's an intrigue and interest, allow it to be inspired. Allow yourself to be inspired and allow yourself to take that step to go into those new realms, if you will. No matter, regardless of what pain you're going to face or what fear you're going to face, if you simply just go out and take a step forward, you might take 10 steps and be like, nah, that's not it. Come back, reset. Hey, there's a door that's open. I know this person that's doing that. That sounds interesting. Let me go down that path. So I think that's a really critical way that it is a journey. It's not something that you snap your fingers and it happens overnight.
Yeah, we spend our lives a lot of times on the same path, and stress builds up with the responsibilities that come with the experiences that you have over life. Sometimes when you get to that, that 40 age and you cut everything loose and start over with clean slate, there's a calm to that.
There's a peace.
Yeah.
Right. And I think once you do discover a certain purpose, even if that purpose isn't going to be with you your whole life, there's a peacefulness in that. Regardless of the level of pain that you go through and the challenges and the hurdles and the adversity, there's still, you're doing the right thing. And so there's peace in that.
As you get older and you realize how life short is, I mean, it's kind of one of those, well, you could go to school, get your degree, get a same job, do all that, retire, and do the normal line? Or how many adventures do you want to have tucked into this one? How many things can we do? How many things how can we become? Right?
I love it. Well, if you've listened to this show, man, once again, I think we've accomplished our mission. I know Shawn did. But I hope you as the listener, I hope you heard, hey, man, that there are different pathways and we all lose identity and regain it in different moments in our life. And so it's critical to recognize two things. One, that's going to happen no matter what, no matter how high you get on one apex of your life or how low, is if you can know that this is part of the journey, you're good. And also the second thing, don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's the pathway for purpose.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you for paying attention. We really appreciate you. If you want to know more and you want to understand what it is we do and why we do it, please visit our website at TNQPodcast.com. That's TNQPodcast.com. And also what we really love about the Team Never Quit community that we're creating is the ability for our listeners to go ahead and write in. Share with us your greatest never quit story, or possibly your father's or your mother's or your cousin, your brother, your sister, your aunt, or uncle. We don't care. But go ahead and share those with us because we're building this wonderful community of support within those never quit moments. And we want to have your story. Also, if there's someone out there that hasn't discovered our show and our show's helped you in any way, please show them how to subscribe on either the iTunes app or any app that's available on any mobile device. Or heck, just show them on your browser, take them to our website and show that you can listen directly right there. We appreciate it. Well, we've got a reader's story for you now.
Merch.
I love when you remind me to talk about the merch. We have merchandise. We have merchandise. We've got t-shirts that will blow you away. We're also working on some other phenomenal ideas like coffee mugs and hats, man. I'm telling you what, the Team Never Quit podcast merchandise is something that you can wear at birthday parties. You can wear it in going out. You can wear it getting married. I'll tell you what, buy one today. Huh?
He's in full auctioneer mode.
I was. It was going.
It works as a sponge, as a towel to wash your car. dry off the baby, to wipe the baby, whatever you need, it's there.
Am I becoming that
It'll
guy?
never quit.
Am I becoming that guy?
I was waiting for you to go to start
Good,
throw your,
man. You were
throwing your bid
accelerating,
down.
then all of a sudden you stopped.
Hey, yeah.
All right. Merchandise.
Back to where we were.
TNQPodcast.com. All right. Here is our listener write-in story. This is from Jason. My never quit story involves two people. My parents, John and Elsa, entered into a battle they never expected. I was along for the battle, but they are the two that possess the never quit mindset. On the Saturday before Father's Day 2013, my dad was feeling sick. We had urged him the day before to see his doctor on Monday. He reluctantly accepted this pleading from us. The next day, Father's Day, he didn't come to church with us because of his sick condition. What we did not know was how serious his condition was at the time. My mom cared for him as best she could in between the morning and the evening services. Upon arriving from home from the evening service, my mom found my dad unconscious, eyes rolled back in his head and writhing on the floor. She immediately called 911, demanding an ambulance. Her next call was to me, alerting me of the situation. I jumped in my car with my wife, who was 5 months pregnant with our first son. We raced to the hospital. My dad was twitching and completely disoriented. He could not make eye contact and was burning up with a severe fever. They hit him with everything they had, antibiotics, steroids. His breathing slowed and he went into an unsedated coma. They had to do a lumbar puncture to determine the cause of his symptoms. The verdict came to us within a few hours: bacterial meningitis. My dad had the deadliest of meningitis. I started to Google meningitis on my phone because I'd never heard of it before. I found, to my dismay, there was little hope for my dad recovering. There were cases of amputations, vegetated states, and so on. My dad would spend a week in an unsedated coma. He woke up on his own 6 days after being taken to the hospital. He regained complete consciousness, but was seeing hallucinations due to the medication. Those hallucinations still haunt him today when he recalls them. He spent 45 days in the hospital. He could not read, write, or walk when he woke up. He was 74 years old at the time. I stood with him and held him as he took his first steps. I had traded places with him so many years ago when he taught me how to walk. Now, my dad is fully functional, fully able to walk, communicate, and everything before. We are all Christians. We know that despite the hundreds of thousands of dollars that were present in medical degrees, our guide, the great physician, was caring for my dad. My dad is my hero. My hero was knocked down. He got up and made a full and complete recovery, never giving up. By his bedside, those 45 days was my mother. Due to work, I could only come every 2 to 3 days to visit them in the hospital, which was an hour away. Those days, my mom would go home and shower. Those were the only moments she was not beside her teammate. She never left his side. She never quit on him. She never pulled the plug. She never considered giving up, that he would not recover. Today, we give all the glory to God for his recovery. My dad and I went to the Patriot Tour after he fully recovered. We were there to see Marcus and other speakers at the Ronald Reagan Library. We were inspired by all the speakers who were heroes in our eyes. However, I got to listen to heroes that night sitting next to my favorite hero, my dad. He never quit in his recovery. He made what can only be described as a miraculous recovery. And his teammate, my mom, never quit on him either. Jason, your pop is hard as nails, man. A lot of people nowadays would have thrown in the towel.
Did you say how he picked that up? How he got it?
No.
Meningitis?
No,
And that
they
stuff's gnarly, boy.
It'll knock
it
you
is.
dead. Most people in third world countries, they get meningitis, they're dead.
I grew up with a kid, man. He got it and died in 2 days.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
A friend of mine caught it in Israel on a flight back. He died before he landed in the United States.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. It's scary.
It's scary stuff.
They thought I had it once. I had to get a spinal tap at Balboa.
Oh man.
Yeah, when I was out in San Diego.
It is no joke. Anyway, so
Not a
Jason, bravo Zulu on your father and on your mother and your faith in God, man. I think this show is really been powerful because what it talks about at its core is a second chance, right? Allowing yourself to believe that once you get that second chance, man, you can catapult yourself towards discovering what your true calling and your true purpose in life. I just want to give thanks because I believe this is a purpose of mine that I've been called to do. I want to thank God for that, Christ. I want to thank my children. I want to thank my beautiful girlfriend. I want to thank my family. I want to thank all those in my life who've taught me and helped me and been there for me. I want to thank Shawn, my buddy, for his quest and him being there for me. I want to thank our Jason for writing in. And most importantly, I want to thank our listeners. Without you guys, we couldn't be here. And Jens, thank you for being here with me and my purpose.
Yeah,
Yes,
Shawn
sir.
coming on, sharing that. And Jason, that story right there, the whole time it's important to having a family around. You know, even if you mess up,
That's what I
you're
was
kind of
thinking,
regenerate, man. Your family take care of you when you're sick, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's worth being just keeping it together. No matter what, holding them, being... You don't think about that when you're young and virile and running around, man. It's when you get old and busted, you hold somebody. That's why you have a daughter.
4-4.
Right? But thank you for writing and telling that story. Getting back up, right? For everybody that keeps bringing us back. It's still an amazing feat that we get to do this. Thank y'all. I'm out.
Never quit radio.